Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. In China, they use hot water on demand. You see a lot of it coming to the Western world, but in China, that's the way it's always been, up until just recently when they started putting solar hot water tanks on the roofs of houses, apartment buildings, and you see it mostly in the rural areas. Why is this? Well, last week, Alugo, he's one of our cousins in China. He lives in Nanning City with his wife and his three sons. Well, his wife went back to Bobai because they have a small place in Bobai also, and the hot water in their place is run on gas. She was home alone, taking a shower, and there was a gas leak, and they found her the next morning. So when you're in China and you're using gas to heat your water for a shower, be very careful, because it's not like here in the Western world. Their gas doesn't smell like rotten eggs, you know, so it's one of those things that. And what I noticed about it, you see, this is a sad thing. What I noticed about Alugo in Bobai, because that's their hometown, when his wife passed away, every person in that village donated money to Alugo, which is helps them out, because you know, they're poor people. He recycles stuff for a living. Ding 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 ding, if you know that in China. Well, his wife was making more than him, so now he's got to raise 3 children by himself, which is not a good thing. And why I say by himself, because Alugo will never get married again. And why is that? Well, Alugo's, as I say, poor, and in China, there's 34 million more guys than there is girls. Well, so being a poor farm boy that recycles garbage, he's not a good catch for a girl to be a husband. And he's getting older now. He's about 45 years old. And being that age, you know, he's not of marrying age anymore, and he wouldn't be a very good catch. You see, in the smaller communities, the women, they go to the city. They figure that they've got a better chance of finding a richer husband, a better husband, more educated husband, and having a better life. Well, you know, they're probably right. So that leaves very few women in marrying age women in the smaller communities, the farming communities such as Bobai and Yulin, and you know, places like that. So what do these guys do? 34 million bachelors with no chance of finding a wife. Well, that's the population of Canada. So you pick every person in Canada, turn him into a guy, and they're all bachelors. Whoa. That'd be a rough future, you know. No chance of having a lifelong partner. So what do these guys do? They build houses. One thing they do is when you see a house being built in rural China, chances are it's a single guy trying to attract a woman. Yep. So if you don't have a house in China, no self-respecting woman is gonna want to marry you. Okay, well, so you got a house, and there's still no woman. Now what do? Well, you see, this one-child policy, it's a one-child policy's fault, as far as I'm concerned, because everybody wanted a boy, didn't want a girl. Now there's not enough girls to go around. So what did these guys do? They import them from places like Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, even North Korea. They have people in these countries that will find you a wife, and they'll charge you, I don't know, 30,000 RMB, and they'll guarantee that if this girl runs away in the first year, they'll replace her for free. yes, they'll replace her. So it's sort of like a commodity. So not only does it that one-child policy sort of screw with China and the bachelors and the guys without a wife, but it also screws with all of the countries around China, because they're drawing the women out of those countries into China, because China is considered a richer place than Laos or Cambodia or Vietnam. You know, it's North Korea for sure. Hey, North Korean girl marries Chinese guy. Boy, she'd be the richest one in their family. Yep. So, you know, so it sort of screws with those countries too. And that brings us all back to this thing where you get somebody like me from a place like Canada, where you got about 50-50 guys and girls, and I go to China and find a wife. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people in China, guys in China, not the girls, that don't like people like me, just for the fact that they consider that I stole one of their women. And I can understand that. Sorry guys, but I'm keeping Wei Fong. She's mine. Being Chinese, they always have a name for everything. And these single guys in the rural areas of China, they call them bare branches. Why do they do that? Because they're not going to be carrying on the family name. They're not going to bring pride, I guess, to the family, because they have no wife, they'll have no children, their name stops right there, type thing. And this is something that all Chinese want. They want to have children so that their name can go on and on and on. Where in the West, well, some people elect not to have children. In the East, in China, that's unless you can't have kids for some physical reason, everybody has a kid, and that's just the way of it. So these bare branches are sort of looked at differently from, you know, family members and neighbors and people in the communities look at them differently, because they're basically useless in the eyes of the community, because they're not going to have any children. It's sort of a bad way to live. So that's why they build the houses. That's why they look at the different countries to bring a wife to. That's why some of them emigrate to different countries, because they have a better chance of having a family. And you know, going from China to Cambodia, yeah, that's possible. Going from China to Vietnam, yeah, that's possible too. You know, so there's a lot of these guys will go to a different country, live there for a while, find a wife, have a child, and then move back to China. Oh yes, because if you have a chance to live in China and you're from Cambodia, China's a better place. I've been in both countries, and one has a future and the other one really doesn't have a future at this point. It may get better in the future, but not now. Anyway, so there's a little bad news for the people who watch my channel. Alugo is single now. His wife passed away here last week, and we all hurt for him and hope him the best in the future. And I know that he's going to need help from family, friends, neighbors. I don't know what to say about that. It's when we heard it, it hit us hard. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Thanks for watching. Bye now.